Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for, I would say, a rather big review right now, a most anticipated movie of the year for I know many of you out there. Let's talk about Denis Villeneuve's adaptation of Dune. Just in case you need the basics on this one, the movie stars Timothee Chalamet as Paul Atreides, the son of Oscar Isaac's Duke Leto Atreides, who's called upon by the Emperor to travel to a dangerous desert planet called Arrakis to oversee the harvesting and the distribution of its highly valuable spice. First, let's tackle a question that I would imagine some of you out there might have, especially after that brief synopsis that I just gave that only covers a fraction of the content here. Can you go into this new Dune movie completely blind without knowing anything about the Frank Herbert source material or even the David Lynch movie? And you know what? I can't quite answer that question for you anymore, mainly because I did finally listen to the Dune audiobook before seeing this new film, and I walked out quite glad that I did. I do suspect that I was able to get swept up in the story a little bit quicker, having that understanding of the situation and the main players involved. And I also think that my viewing experience benefited from the excitement that comes with seeing something from the page that you're familiar with come to life right before your eyes on screen. But I can tell you that I at least suspect that Dune conveys those basics clearly and efficiently enough that one will be able to slip into this story fairly quickly, whether they know about the source material or not. Plus, conveying fairly detailed exposition about the Empire, some of its planets, and the houses involved in this situation on Arrakis becomes a whole lot easier when you've got a hugely talented ensemble delivering all of that information. Let's start here with one of my absolute favorites of the bunch, Jason Momoa's Duncan, Idaho. That right there is just perfect casting, and Momoa truly lights up the screen with his charisma in that role. And I would say that his chemistry with Chalamet is hands down one of the biggest highlights of this Dune movie for me. But also, the relationship between Chalamet's Paul and his parents, Oscar Isaac as Leto, of course, and Rebecca Ferguson as his mother, Jessica, was something that I found to be extremely effective on a number of different levels. Dune basically feels a whole lot like a coming-of-age story for a kid who is under enormous pressure while trying to carve out his own path in this world while his parents pull him in somewhat different directions. Leto's mind is on ensuring that his son's got the know-how and the leadership skills necessary to be a worthy successor in, I would say, a more traditional sense. But then Jessica's Bene Gesserit roots have her helping Paul achieve something similar, but via the more mysterious and mystical Bene Gesserit teachings and skills. And Chalamet, he's just got such great chemistry with both of them that you can always feel the respect that Paul has for his mother and his father. And then as the movie progresses, it's just fascinating watching him assess the things he's learned from them and choosing what things to emulate from them. And it just comes out in this form of like a beautifully balanced look at a son trying to carry on his legacy while also shaping it to give his people an even better path forward. I thought that quality of the story here was beautiful. This, of course, is Paul's story, so there isn't all that much screen time to go around for the rather large ensemble, but the supporting players here do make one heck of an impression via screen presence alone. I mean, I don't think I'll ever forget what Stellan Skarsgård looks and sounds like playing the ruler of House Harkonnen here. David Dastmalchian is mighty striking as the Harkonnen House Mentat Piter. I loved what Josh Brolin brought to the table playing Gurney Halleck. He's a very important player in the Atreides armed forces, and I just found that Brolin's performance often served as a bit of a barometer for me, kind of functioning as my radar for the threats and just knowing when to sound the alarms. If you are wondering about someone like Zendaya here, she very much does what she needs to do in this movie, but we also do need to talk about the fact that Dune, this movie, is functioning as the first part of a two-part story. Dune Part 1 left me very, very eager for more, but I also do think it is a very strong first part of Paul's journey. And, just because it's a two-part journey doesn't mean there isn't some finality and satisfaction to this leg of it. And I found that this movie wound up feeling like a fairly complete chapter of his arc, and now I'm just looking forward to seeing how the next chapter plays out. Now, let us talk about those visuals. Yes, at this point, I expect remarkable imagery from Villeneuve, but even going into Dune with a very clear understanding of what he's capable of behind the lens, it in no way prepared me for how incredible and all-consuming every frame of this movie is. I am not going to say you need to see Dune on the big screen if you are not ready to go back to a movie theater yet, and also because I truly do believe that Dune will still be a visual feast watching it home sweet home. But if you are someone who is just debating between watching it at home or seeing it in the theater and you are comfortable with being in that crowd again, I'd probably nudge you in the direction of the big screen option. This movie, it swallowed me whole with its visuals and truly felt like it transported me to Caladan, Paul's homeworld, and also Arrakis. It's just one pretty picture after the next. The visual effects are incredible and make all the future technology feel so real. The production design is stunning from top to bottom, and it's detailed, and every stitch of the costume work here feels so tactile and not just a pretty thing to look at, but it also clearly serves a purpose in their lifestyles too. And then, of course, I have to highlight that Hans Zimmer score, another creator involved in this one who is just proven time and time again he can do anything. But this Dune score it rocked me to my core. It heavily contributes to the epic feel of the film and the danger of it. And there are a couple of tracks here I got a feeling I'm going to wind up listening to quite often, even apart from the full feature, particularly some of the stuff that plays with the earlier scenes on Arrakis. I just loved it so much. Exceptional work from Hans Zimmer. Let's score this thing. I'm giving Dune 4 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. This right here is a very good adaptation, but I have to bring up the runtime of the film simply because I did feel it at times. There's not a chunk of the movie that lags, I wouldn't say that. It's more little speed bumps here and there. But again, because I felt it, I must mention it to you. And also, while I do think that Dune Part 1 finds great success with Paul's growth, Dune can feel, I guess, a tad flat here and there, and I don't think it is ever a performance issue, more just how these characters operate within this world and within this situation. But I do think that quality wound up closing me off to some of the emotional layers of certain characters. All right, that is where I am leaving you on Dune. I'm not going to say if, because it's when. When you see Dune, please hit that comment section below and share your own thoughts there. I would love to hear what you think about this one. And before I let you go, I've got a Patreon shout out. This review is all thanks to Billy. Billy is a wonderful individual who always suggests such great things for me to cover from month to month. Billy, I think you are one of the coolest. Thank you so much for being part of the team, my friend. Big thanks to everybody out there for watching this review. Don't forget to like and share it before you leave, and I got more on the way very, very soon.